Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Sarah Scholl. I am the Outreach and Public Relations Coordinator for the Pennsylvania Parks and Forest Foundation. Thank you again for being here with me this afternoon. All this week, we'll be celebrating Earth Week with these story time hours here at 3 p.m. live on Facebook all week. And today, during story time, I am going to read to you Growing Wild, Inviting Wildlife into Your Yard, written and illustrated by Constance Perenyi. Let's begin. Growing Wild. Once upon a time, not really long ago, really, in a land far away, not so far actually, maybe your neighborhood or mine, there was a perfect lawn. Not just one perfect lawn, but many. Together, these squares of bright green grass marched across the neighborhood. All the lawns were proud to be perfect, but they were also very lonely. See all those perfect squares of lawn? They could remember a time before the fences and the streets, when there was a different kind of green. Trees and wildflowers and long green grasses waved in the wind to greet animals high and low. Look at all those long grasses waving. We see our animals up top, up high, butterfly, and one below, a little froggy there in the corner. Oh, nice. Then everything changed. People began to saw down trees and build tall fences. When the wild grasses were cut, most of the animals left to find other homes. But sometimes, even then, a robin visited to look for worms. She was a welcome sight, a bright spot of color on the perfectly green grass. She never stayed long, though. Without trees, she had nowhere to build a nest. And without berries and insects, she had nothing to feed her young. And when she left, the perfect lawns seemed lonelier than ever. See that nice robin? But she had to fly away. One day, just a few years ago, a small house in the middle of the perfect lawn was put up for sale. The people in the house moved and took their lawnmower, grass trimmers, all the sprays they used to kill the bugs and the weeds. At first, there was nothing but an empty house and a big empty yard. House is put up for sale. Left all alone, big and empty, and a big empty yard. But an amazing thing happened. The big empty lawn didn't stay empty for long. At first, the grass started to grow. It got taller and soon went to seed. In a short time, other plants grew too. The neighbors called them weeds, but we all know a weed is just a plant people don't want in their perfect lawns. I think that's a great perspective. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Same with weeds, too. Suddenly, the lawn wasn't so perfect, but it wasn't lonely anymore either. Along with the tall, seedy grass and the colorful new plants came visitors, lots of them. Birds flew from far and wide to feast on seeds. Bright flowers welcomed honeybees, and butterflies flitted across the yard. Perfect lawns all looked on in wonder. By the end of summer, the wild yard with its empty house was sold. At last, said the neighbors, now someone will mow that awful lawn. But what happened to the yard? Was it destined to be perfect and lonely again? No. The yard was in luck. The people who moved into the little house loved the creatures who kept the tall grass company. The people also knew they could make the yard even better, and it would be a perfect garden for their new friends. First, they planted trees. Some would keep their leaves all year. Others would be bare in the winter. But they would provide food and shelter for garden animals. Nice evergreen tree. Some other trees with a little squirrely in it. Next, down came the fence and up went a long hedge. Bushy branches full of berries, color in winter, and plenty of treats for the birds. I think a long, bushy hedge is much nicer than a fence. Birds think so too. Parts of the garden grow wild. Other areas are mowed close. The robin has a place to stay as long as she wants. The garden has become a home for animals throughout the year. During the summer, flowers attract hummingbirds. The bird bath is always full, and the garden splashes with cheerful activity. Have you seen any hummingbirds enjoying the flowers yet? They're supposed to make their way up to Pennsylvania soon. I put my feeder out, but none have come yet. Crisp days and dewy spider webs are sure signs of fall. Birds as bright as autumn leaves arrive in the garden. Some stop for short visits as they fly south. Others stay as the days shorten and the air chills. You see all those spider webs in those branches. I love the little details of this book. And there's our happy fall birds. In years past, winter was an especially lonely time for the yard. Nothing seemed alive. Everything looked flat and cold. But now, the garden bustles with birds in the feeders and squirrels on the snow. Even the frost seems to sparkle with life. See the birds eating the seeds on the ground? They're very thankful for those feeders come wintertime, I'm sure. Beautiful. Ever so slowly, the sun grows stronger. Birds build nests and sing to announce the coming of spring. Buds and flowers and fresh green leaves bring the color of a new season. These are warm and happy days in the garden. This is the time of year we're experiencing now. I hope everyone is finding time to have warm and happy days in their garden. And what, you might wonder, has become of all of the other perfect lawns in the neighborhood? Well, nature has a wonderful way of taking care of friends. Birds spread seed, squirrels bury nuts. Soon, flowers sprout and trees take root everywhere. There is no longer a perfect lawn in sight, and the neighbors don't know what to do. They have come to like the new people on the block and even admire their colorful garden. In the end, the yard makes their decision. Tired of being perfect, they don't want to be lonely anymore. So the neighborhood grows wild too. No longer a block of perfectly square lawns. It has become one big garden, a perfect place to live happily ever after. The end. Thank you all so much for being here as we read Growing Wild, Inviting Wildlife into Your Yard by Constance Perenyi in honor of Earth Day. Tomorrow is the big day, everyone, so I'm so excited to celebrate with everyone, and we want to see how you are celebrating, so be sure to tag us in any pictures and let us know how you're celebrating Earth Day 50. Maybe you'll be out planting your garden like we learned about today in Growing Wild, and if you do that, take some pics. Let us see. We'd love to see how you're growing wild for Earth Day. Thank you all so much. Take care. Bye-bye.